What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. We got something special going on today. We are going to be doing some interesting opinionated video. It's a bit of a deep dive for Final Fantasy 15. Now, for those who don't know, Final Fantasy 15, 15th main entry in the Final Fantasy game universe, and it's all over the place. It had a rocky road in terms of development and execution, but let me not jump ahead. I have with me here my wife, my backbone, my everything. I have my wife with me here today. She recently just completed the game, and so it's good to have a second pair of eyes and second opinions on this. You gonna say, hey, what's up?
Hi, Madam B.
Yeah, Madam B back, baby. Yeah.
Where were you?
So, I don't want to ramble too much. We're going to go ahead and get into this thing. Final Fantasy 15 released for the last gen Xbox One, PS4 in 2015, I believe. And it came with a bit of a mixed reception. There was a lot that went into the development end of it it just went through development hell, starting from it actually supposedly being Final Fantasy 13 Versus, I believe, and then that got scrapped, and then we got Final Fantasy 15. So I mean, yeah, Final Fantasy 15. But what is Final Fantasy 15 about? For those who don't know, can you help me out here? Because well, I mean, I know what it is. I guess the Final Fantasy 15 follows Noctis and his best friends as they go on this road trip that ultimately gains into the stakes of world ending. So they have to save the world from the threats of a very ancient evil. Now, there's a lot that people liked about the series. There's a lot that people didn't like about this. But let's go ahead and just start jumping into it. So, what is you being a new Final Fantasy fan, or these, in terms of this game? What did you think about the game?
Um, I liked it. It was like really meant for me first playing it like a little side quest game while I was finishing up another game. But I kind of got into this game more than I did the other game, and I ended up finishing this game before I finished the other game. So that says a lot.
Okay. So, well, I've been a fan for since '97 when my first Final Fantasy game. I believe I actually played Final Fantasy before this, but the one I remember off top, Final Fantasy 7 when it came out in '97. I believe that's the date. And ever since then, I've been enjoying the games. I've played 7, I've played 6, 4, 1, 9, 10, 13. I don't play the online one because I think that's stupid. I like the Dissidia games. I played Type Zero. I played the one was kind of cartoonish. I can't remember the damn game. It was for the GameCube. But all that to say, I'm a fan of the series. And my thoughts are, I do. It does fit the Final Fantasy aesthetic in a lot of ways. Just the overall aesthetic. Usually, Final Fantasy is banks into the genre of fantasy and science fiction fantasy.
Yeah, which I love.
And I think this does lean more into the Final Fantasy, the Final Fantasy, the sci-fi fantasy aspect of it. And I think the world feels good. I think it does fit that overall aesthetic. There are some things in the story that definitely harken back to the previous games because all of the games are linked in certain ways, whether it be characters, themes, bestiary, and stuff like that. And I will say I did enjoy the game, but it does have its share of flaws. But that's not to say it's not a fun game because it actually is a fun game. In fact, I going back over my notes and everything is actually my second favorite Final Fantasy game in terms of like the world, the story. and things like that. Because it has a really rich, deep backstory, has a really good. So, does it live up to the Final Fantasy name? In my opinion, I think it does, despite the flaws. And another thing that kind of differentiates it is the action. All Final Fantasy games pretty much are turn based.
So
There's
are
some,
you talking about like the story,
just all
or
of it, all of it, all of it. But yeah,
so do you encourage people to watch the movie before they play this game?
I think because of the negatives that the game does have, it's best to do that.
Hmm.
This is kind of the problem I have with the game. Is it's kind of fractured, and it needs to be. You need to read it and it told it in its entirety.
Let's get into our kind of own little share of how we interpreted the game.
Hmm.
Yeah, you being a big Final Fantasy fan, and I'm just like, it's my first game. We both interpret it differently.
Hmm.
So me, I'm playing it like, basically I like open world. It reminded me of the other games that I like, Black Desert and all that reminded me of all that. The gameplay for me, I did have to switch the systems because I'm like, yeah, all the warping and all that. I had to switch the systems and the buttons, and I'm like, okay, I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked all the gameplay, the open world. It was beautiful to be. Uh, I would have liked to see more animals, more monsters, in my opinion. Me playing it.
I think because this one is like the first actual open world one, and I guess you could say Type Zero isn't open world. It has an open world like travel system, but it's not actually open world. Like if you go in the forest, you actually in between the trees and stuff. No, this game is actually open world, and I think they successfully implemented that into the game.
Hmm.
I think they did a great job with that. I do think that it does lack a lot of meaningful side content. Not saying that there isn't any, but like normally when you play games like this, you read up on certain things that tell you a bit more about the lore, a bit more about certain characters that you didn't learn about. You get to see more, be able to. The one thing that this game does like is a good supporting cast.
So you would have liked like some of the side quests to come together within the story.
Yes, yes, yes. Some to like what's the guy that is helping you out in the game? You meet him initially, but you don't really see him again till like the end of the game.
Core.
Core, like him. There should have been several side quests regarding his character. Sid is a prominent character in almost every Final Fantasy game. He's always a
He did
mechanic.
give a few side quests,
I
but
mean, like meaningful ones.
yeah.
Yeah, there's no meaningful ones like that dive more into what he's got going on. Um, like things like that. Even the Galantina chick, like her, you would whatever her name is. I don't
Oh
know.
my god.
Like more. Like you want more. That's one thing you always want is like these meaningful side quests, things to. Oh, and even if you look at the weapons that you get, the royal arms,
Hmm.
there's no meaningful thing around that either. Like I don't know
Uh,
or like does it give you like say you find information regarding those kings
yeah.
of that you know what I'm saying like if hey I go get this royal arm that's an axe, will it give me a deep dive about who the person was that owned it, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like stuff like that that would give more context to the world, give more depth to the world, and for knowledge seekers like me I would like to have read that, learn more about it. So uh,
I mean, the use of the royal arms didn't bother me until I found out, from you, that it kind of dampens your HP a little bit.
yeah,
It
it
takes
takes off
away.
your life, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't mind it, except they're really big and kind of hard to manage than the smaller ones, of course.
I ain't gonna lie, but you figured it out before me when you did the whole arm summoning all the weapons.
The Armiger.
Yeah, you figured it out before I did.
Loved it. I
I,
love that one.
I done played the game and I read up all on it and did all this and didn't realize you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
But so, but I would say this: I bought this game when it launched. It was a bit, like I said, it was a bit of a rocky road, but it was still a good, fun game. Now, looking back at it, is it as fun? Is it better now than at launch? I think it is a bit better because you got like the DLC and stuff. Some of the added content, like what was it? We get to travel to the other world.
Yeah.
When we got the new wind astral creature,
Yeah.
like that, it added more content. The boating thing. I think
Mm-hmm.
now because they've added more content to it, I think that helps it out much more. So I think now if you haven't played it, I think now would be a good time, especially with the DLC. Although the comrades thing was wasted potential. But let me ask you this: in your opinion, going to the story, is do you think the story is incomplete or that it's poorly told? And I'm asking because your opinion because you watched the movie, then you played the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now me, I watched the movie, I played the game, I played the prequel game, and I read the sequel book. Not the sequel book, the book that is like the true ending. Uh, but going and I played two of the DLC, no three of them. But what are your thoughts? Do you think it's incomplete or is it just poorly told?
I mean, I don't think it's neither. It from coming from me, it was just like I had to get into the story because I didn't know what it was. All right. That's all I can say for right now because I don't have all that deep dive like you do. But from playing the game, from watching the movie, and then playing the game, it's messed up at the end, yeah, but it was an all right story. I guess I kind of get what they were trying to do, but yeah, it was all right.
I I I'm like I said because I've gotten the whole sense of everything. Like I said, that's why once I went and did the deep dive and started reading more about it and played the other game and read the book, it became one of my second favorite Final Fantasy game in terms of the lore and story. But I do think the game is incomplete. And like I said, that's because when you get to that certain part in the game, it's just it's like you could definitely tell there was more that should have been there. You know
Well,
what I'm
with
saying?
the yeah, after the open world and when you get to Altissia and then after it does seem like you should be able to explore Altissia a little bit more than and then after till until you get to the other part of the story. All of that map and you just get on the gondolas and you just go from here to here and then here to here. Like there's a big old map. You should be able to go here and there and especially with the boat, after that on the water, you should be able to go, like you said, to the different islands or whatever.
I think we should have been able to go to the other two kingdoms and explore more. You know what I'm saying? There have been more stories to be told there, especially with other characters like Raven, whatever's Lucindia's brother, the one that joined the Empire.
Ravis and
Ravis.
Luna Freya.
Look, I'm messing up the names. What do I say, Lucinda? I think I'm talking about somebody from Smash Brothers. I don't know. Luna Freya, like her story incomplete. We don't get to see much about what she's got going on.
Mm-hmm.
Ravis, you're correct. We don't get to see more about what he's got going on. And I wish that I think that's why I say it feels like it's incomplete. We
Mm-hmm.
don't even see really what the bad guys are doing. We do get a little bit here and there, but not really. When everything starts kicking up, especially towards the end, we don't get to see it. And I think another thing that kind of messes it up too is that it's strictly told from Noctis's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been Final Fantasy games where the main character is knocked out, missing, out of commission, and you take over the role with the other characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like Wouldn't it made more sense when he came up missing? We play with the other characters as things are going down. You know what I mean?
Well, they of course they added in some of that into the DLC.
That as side stories, but not to
Yeah,
make
side
up that
stories.
difference.
Hmm.
But yeah, we should have been able to explore the other regions because those are stories that could have been told there, characters that we could have met, experiences that we could have gotten into. So I will say it's still good, but it does feel incomplete. Um, and, how much do the movie and the DLC affect the experience? A lot. They give the movie gives you context that the games don't, because when Insomnia is destroyed, we don't
Hmm.
see it in the game, or if we do, it's not like the whole thing. You don't get the whole experience like you do in the movie.
Hmm.
Just like with the Kingsglaive, we don't know the game don't mention the Kingsglaive really, but the movie tells you what happened to them. When the dad gets killed, they don't really go into that.
Yeah, Luna Freya is different.
Yes, we get more about her, and her role in the movie.
Like she was more like withdrawn in the game, and it's like she was ready to kick butt in the movie.
Hmm. And then with the DLC, little moments, character arcs with the side characters, you don't really get those in the main game. So the DLC dives into that.
Hmm.
There's some really cool things. I played the Gladios and I played Prompto. Hadn't got to Ignis, and I read Ardene's story in the book, but Ardeen has a DLC episode, so I'm interested to see if they're the same thing. But all of this is to say, yes, they do. If you're going to play this game and you're especially there for the story, you have to watch the movie. You have to play the games. I mean the DLC. And does the second half feel rushed or unintentionally focused? Feels rushed.
Yeah, after you get from after the
Autistic.
everything go dark
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean you can choose to rest, but it's like why you're just going in these little paths, going in these tunnels, and like yeah.
Yeah, it that's why I was so disappointed when I played the Comrades DLC because I thought the Comrades DLC would explain all of that, what
Hmm.
was going on then, but it doesn't. It actually does have has f all to do with the story. All it is just a forced multiplayer additional mode they put into it, and I was like, why? You could have utilized this to be like who is fighting against the dark while Noctis is not there? We assume it's Ignis, Gladius, and Prompto. We don't see it. Comrades could have been them linking up with what's left of the glaive to try to save humanity. But that's not even in the story. So that was wasted potential.
Mm.
Then they brought the guy from the movie in the game, and then he ain't even in the main game. And not even in the I don't even think he makes a cameo in the game. But he's in the comrades. That don't make sense.
Well, see, I
When you watch me play, it ain't
didn't play
but yeah. So yeah, you need to add the DLC, especially you get some jewels about Prompto. I was like, ooh. But all right. So in terms of because I said perfect segue characters, the biggest strength of this game is specifically the four main characters.
hmm.
Biggest strength. Am I going to say that they're the best party in the series? I don't think so. I think they have the best chemistry of any game because they grew up together. Because you can tell that they've. The rest of the games are everybody comes from different walks of life together, but they don't have this unique relationship like these four do. These four actually grew up together. They trained together. They traveled together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now the rest of them, you know what? I will say, yeah. Are Noctis, Prompto, Ignis, and Gladius the best part of the series? I will say yes. And I love Final Fantasy VII. I love all the other games. I love the characters too.
Hmm.
But I will say these are the most solid. They have the deepest, most entrenched. I mean, you can say, hey, Cloud and Tifa, but it's not like what we see in this
Yeah, so
game.
that's what I was gonna bring up. Like when I do finish, 13 or the other, I don't know if there's another one with Cloud or
Seven.
Tifa. Yeah, then of course we can go back and discuss that. But I was gonna say, like, how does that party? Because in 13 it switches before you, right? In the beginning you switch different parties, right?
Mm.
13.
You stay with Lightning. From I think it's situational, but I think for the majority of the game you stick with Lightning. You know what? I don't know.
When
It's
you
just-
the maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I got it mixed up. I know you stick with her, but you switch the parties switch.
yeah, whenever something happens in a game, it goes so different. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what
yeah,
I
yeah,
meant.
yeah, yeah,
The first beginning.
yeah.
I don't know about the open world part. Yeah. Okay,
Um,
but sorry. Back to this.
but yeah, I think yes. In terms of like chemistry, party, these are the best. These are undeniably the best.
Hmm.
And like I say, everybody else they grow together, but they don't have that deep seated, entrenched relationship among them like these four do.
Right, and like in terms of like in any other game that I have played, I can't think of any other where you can get like have a without it being online, without people just coming in from online, like a party like that of like four or more or
No,
three.
no, 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 no. Like I said, all of them, you get your party, and there are sequences in each game where you they you you dive more into the past, the stuff that like that, and there are a lot of great character moments. Like I said, all of the games, majority of the games, have that. Even if same thing I did with like the Final Fantasy 13, where I was like, well, I wish they did more of the side content, see more about the characters. But then I read the dang book. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
why wasn't this in the game? But but I think this is solid. Which character had the best arc and who got wasted? Hmm. Honestly, it's hard for me to say because I played two of the DLCs.
Well, see, without playing a DLC and from of course just playing a game, I was gonna say Prompto.
But I'll say this: when you play the DLC, I say Prompto. Prompt when you see what his stuff, what he got
Yeah,
going
plus
on.
what he, at the end, I like I said, I don't did not know the DLC. I don't know what happened in the DLC, but at the end, from what he was saying, it's like, yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay. There's something new to Prompto besides like, his goofiness and stuff like that throughout the game. Now it's something serious. So, of course, because you see him trying to be the people, the one to keep up the spirit of the party. So,
I say Prompto. I say Prompto. It's kind of hard to gauge because we didn't. Neither one of us played Ignis' thing to see what his little subplot was, which that's probably going to be the next thing I need to do. But
mm-hmm.
for the most part, I say Prompto. And who got wasted? I don't really say anyone that got wasted. You could say Noctis. I don't want to say Noctis either.
If maybe, because even
I,
playing as Noctis, I started to get a little like teed off. I'm like, come
no,
on, dude.
I know who had the worst character art. That damn princess.
Really?
Cause think about it, she does nothing in the game. Absolutely nothing. She's the one character that should have been more prominent. She's the one, and even though they do certain clever things,
I could have seen a little side to that game where you kind of go in as Luna Freya and do something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there should have been more of that. If not directly seeing being her, seeing what she was doing or something. They do some clever bits here with the dogs and the journals and the diary thing, and then a bit more with the flashbacks to when they were kids and all. But ultimately, we don't really see her do. So if there was anybody wasted, it was definitely her.
Well, to you,
And who do you
what
think?
I said I was gonna say Noctis like at first because in the beginning parts of the game and even towards the middle a little bit he was still kind of acting like a little turd. So I was kind of getting teed off and like Gladius almost like literally had to knock some sense into him. But then afterward, he started to kind of like grow up a bit. You kind of see that arc change because I just wish it kind of happened a little bit sooner. But he did have an arc and it was okay. But I just want to see it happen just a little bit sooner.
And you know what? Yeah, I can. I can see that. I could definitely see that. Now, this is the thing you're probably going to excel in more than me. The open world aspect of it. Do you think it's meaningful or just pretty for aesthetic wise?
I mean, uh, you have I mean, it's not like you don't have nothing to do, like things to, little trinkets to pick up as you walk, and then next thing you know, enemies come out of nowhere. I think the open world is good. I like to grind. I like to grind on any game I play, so I can go around and just, be just running around the open world. I like that.
And
Like I said, I just want more monsters to pop out.
I think it's a good open world. I do think, like I said earlier, there
Mm-hmm.
could have been more meaningful side quests. More either to flesh out the lore or help drive the
Now, if they
story.
would have had them climb, that would have been something too. A little climbing thing, so that way could have got over some of the mountains and wouldn't have to go all the way around.
Wait, ain't the bad guys Niflheim?
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, because Niflheim is something else from another game, and I was trying not to.
Oh my God,
I'm getting my
it is
games
from
mixed
another
up.
game.
But yeah, I wanted to see more. Like when, like have more stuff talk about Niflheim's campaign on Insomnia, Niflheim's strong on hold on the other country, like other characters, maybe people that have defected from Niflheim, people that escaped Insomnia, like in terms of like it's a good the world itself is good. It's not. It doesn't have anything. It don't have anything to do with the story.
Maybe they don't want to make it too heavy.
They should have, like when they did the DLC and the extra content, put actual things from like I
Because I ain't mean to interrupt, but like when you're playing the game, when you're driving, when you're uh going through the open world, running through the open world on barefoot and stuff, not barefoot, but
I'm about to say barefoot.
you kind of feel like a sense of ease. I felt good playing the game. I didn't feel like, oh my god, I have to, except when you start fighting the really high leveled up monsters, but
You know what? I think this is the best way to say it. I think it's a good Final Fantasy world. I don't think it's a good Final Fantasy 15 world because it doesn't feed into the story.
mm,
It don't feed into the story enough. Even if you look at the bad guys' presence in the game, it doesn't it doesn't seem like it's in like outside of them dropping off troops and stuff. Like there should have been more enemy strongholds and stuff. I mean, we do get them,
yeah, we got a couple scattered.
but
Yeah,
but they're not like a like
you don't run into them like that.
like it's like after a certain point in the game, all of them are empty.
Hmm.
No, I was like, no, there should have been like a military presence that's so heavily fortified or something you can't get in until like late in the game or something, or there have been like certain pockets of the bad guys here and there. Maybe you chase them off on this side, but they take up residency over here. Kind of like a territory tug of war, if you will.
So you just wanted more outposts, more stronghold
I
outposts.
wanted them, if they're this oppressive regime that's taking over I wanted to see it. But after a certain point in the game, when you meet Ardeen, he's like, "Well, we're going to pull all our troops."
Yeah.
There's no more. The only time you see them is when they come drop the ship drops.
Yeah.
And it's like you would want them to still maintain some presence in the game, and I would have liked that. Um, but like I said, I think it's a good Final Fantasy game, a Final Fantasy world. But in terms of the Final Fantasy 15 story, it's not a good Final Fantasy 15 game because it's not doing enough to support the story.
So you can basically just, I mean, of course you want to, level up some, which is why the open world is there, the little hunts is there, but you can literally just go through the whole campaign without doing any other side quests, and it wouldn't be, you wouldn't think the wise, because that's literally the whole story. So
Kind of like the best example is Skyrim. When you play Skyrim, the missions are tied to certain events that are going on in the world. May not be the big ones,
yeah.
but certain events.
Mm-hmm.
When you read the books, what do the books do? They tell you about the enemy types. They tell you about different factions. They tell you about different time periods. They tell you about different events. It's always something in the game that's fleshing out some part of the world. It could be a creature. It could be a god. But we don't get that in this. Even if you think about the gods, we don't get anything explaining them, their role, you know what I'm saying, how they influence things. We don't really get interactions between them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that the other ones did this because they didn't, but it's like to a certain extent. But in this game, because the astral characters are kind of like the divine governing body of this world,
Mm-hmm.
you will want more about them too.
Mm-hmm.
The closest thing we get to it is Titan caught that meteor thing, which caused the upheaval of the land the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't show you a flashback of it. They don't explain it. Where did the meteor thing come from? Why is he still holding it? Shiva, Leviathan, they talk about it a little bit, but they don't. Even with the Shiva chick and all that, like this, it's like it's missing so much of that deep foundational content. Uh, because there was, I okay, I was confused about the Astrals role in the world, and then the Kings and the Crystal. Like I was,
The Kings of Lucis.
yeah, I was struggling to figure out how they all fit together because of that.
Yeah, I thought you knew. Because I was like, I was trying to figure out the crystal part too.
But I did of course, I read the book. The
Mm-hmm.
book actually, and maybe Ardene's because his might be the most closely tied to telling that story. Maybe his DLC does explore that, but I had to find out from reading the book. So the idea of a road trip, do you think is a genius idea or underused concept?
See, this is for their journey, for their mission, for because it seems kind of like, okay, we need to get there, we need to do this now, kind of mission. So a road trip, no.
I think it works good for a road trip, but for an open world game,
But I'm talking about their mission. It's like, okay, you have to go and you have to go marry Luna Freya so we can go, so y'all can do this. Bro, we finna go on a road trip. We finna go hunt. We finna go do this.
no.
So,
But that's what I'm saying. The road trip itself ain't a bad idea, but because it's an open world game.
okay.
Oh, anytime there's a open world game with like a high stakes mission or something, players typically don't go play the high stakes mission. They go run around and doing stuff. That's kind of the cost of open world games. Um, it kind of offsets the danger of what's going on because you can do that. You
I mean, I don't mind it as, as the open world game, but the story, like I said, the story, if they would have maybe kind of, I don't know, started in one of them ships and it got wrecked and then they had to take the car the rest of the way
no
and
no
do
no.
all
That's the
that.
reason why they took the car.
I understand why they took the car.
Okay.
It was just, I
But
understand, but I'm just saying.
but like I said, if it was a linear, if it was linearly told, like The Walking Dead or something,
Mm-hmm.
then it'd be like, okay, the road trip would make more sense because it's more, okay, they're getting from point A to point B. But because it's open world game, you can technically still do it, but most people ain't gonna do it. They're gonna run around and do stuff.
Yeah, which is what I did. I liked it. I liked the car.
I thought it was a good idea too, and again, it works for learning about those characters, what they like, what they don't like, their relationships, how they see each other. I think that was I think that's actually probably one of the best ideas that they put in the game.
And it's probably actually the easiest car I've drove in a game that I could actually control.
All right then, so you like the grind. How about the gameplay? You think it's stylish and fun, or you think it's a button mashing fest?
Well, no, it's not button mashing. It's not Mortal Kombat. I
Wow.
got used to the like I said, after I changed the gaming system for me, I got used to it pretty easily, pretty quick. So I wasn't doing no button mashing. Except I thought when the fight with Leviathan, you were up in the air. I really thought I was gonna fall if I keep pressing the button. So I don't know what I was pressing, but I was pressing.
I'd say those in terms of combat, I think the combat's solid. It's different from Final Fantasy, but it's still solid.
Mm.
The warping, the attacks, the weapons, the magic system is probably the weakest part of it
Mm-hmm.
because one, it's limited. In Final Fantasy, there's a bunch of magic, several forms of magic. This one, you got ice, you got lightning, you got fire. But what is a fourth slot? But for some reason, I'm like, there's nothing there. Maybe that's just for you what you're making, but I don't know what that fourth slot's for. But it's only three magics. But the other ones is a bunch
Hold
of
up, you got lightning, thunderstorm, fire,
thunderstorm. Ain't that lightning?
and blizzard.
What's thunderstorm?
Well, it's thunderstorm, blizzard, lightning.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's three.
no, four.
Okay, what's the fourth?
Blizzard.
No, you said lightning, you said thunderstorm, then you said those two are the same, and then you said fire, then you said blizzard.
No, it's fire,
Uh-huh.
thunderstorm,
Hmm.
which is part of the lightning, blizzard.
Uh-huh.
There's got to, and I know there's four.
That's what I'm saying. It's three, but there's a fourth circle, but I only got three.
You sure?
Yeah, so it's only three. Okay, that don't make sense. In other Final Fantasy games, there's several forms of magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have white magic. You have which is like healing, shields, status effects. You got I won't say black magic, but they got the elemental was like fire, ice. It'd be water, it'd be earth, and stuff like that. Then you got what's that? The blue magic. I don't know. Each one has a different magic system, but they're kind of the same. This one does feel limited
Mm.
because like right now you can't heal.
Well,
You
you're
can't.
right. Fire, ice, and lightning.
Yeah, like there's no white magic. There's no healing. There's no shield buffs and stuff like that. Just like that. That is kind of is that's like very limiting.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the combat's still fairly good. The fact that there's a lack of magic. Now, I will say this: the summonings, I like the summonings. They look cool. I don't like the fact that you can't summon them on your own because in every other game you can
Well,
summon them.
well, you know why you have to get down to a certain point, or you have to be in a fight a certain amount of time or something.
I don't even think the game tells you what those conditions are.
I did read it. They said either a certain amount of time, or your health has to get down to where a summon can happen.
Yeah, but how many? Remember when I was fighting that giant robot? How many times did my health go to I'm about to die? That thing didn't help me not one time. Now, when I don't need the thing, it'll show up left and right, and I'm gonna summon it too. But when I need it, I was like, come on, really?
Yeah,
That robot was kicking our butt.
yeah. When I was fighting that Medusa, I was waiting on one, but
Yeah.
no.
So, like, the whole condition thing, I don't like. Or if the conditions were a bit more easier to assess. But normally, normally when I was playing, it would either be between Raymu, Leviathan, and Titan. And yeah, in fact, yeah, and Shiva too. Since we got the bird chick, I ain't seen nobody but Raymu. And but
I think it differs.
wait, did I even get Shiva? I don't think I got Shiva. I'm sitting complaining about something I didn't even get yet.
Yeah, I got it. You saw
I
me
know I
get
got
it.
Titan. I ain't seen him.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could have
He
worked that
came
out.
at the end.
They could have did something better. They could have worked that out better with the summoning, with the summons.
So you want to be able to summon on your own.
I'm telling you, every other game you can. But one, they're not. But I understand because of them being astrals and stuff. They've been
Mm.
these. I understand. I just wish there was a bit of a better way to summon them.
I don't mind it, except for when you do need them. But anyway.
So there is that as well. What else to the gameplay that I think that is good and bad? The open world aspect again, we said yes is good. Oh, another issue is RPG elements. I think they're good, but they could have been much deeper in terms. You got four characters. You know how much customization in terms of the RPG elements that you could have put in the game that would have made it so much more deeper.
Mm.
And like I said, it's like got a decent one. It's good enough. You can, the attacks, the weapons, the stats, um, equipping them with fire elemental attacks as well.
Hmm.
But like being able to buff up, being able to individually knock up on the different abilities that they can have, especially if you play games like Final Fantasy 13. When you look at their skill thing when they level up and stuff, you're like, especially 10. 10 had probably
I
the
mean,
best.
to me, what I mean to open all the levels on the skill tree wasn't that hard.
Well, this is why I say 10 probably had the best. 10 had this. There's like, it's four characters, there's four circles. Each
Mm.
circle has nodes on it, along it. You have to get a certain amount of experience to get to each node, right?
Mm.
But you can break off of that character's circle and dive into a different circle to get different abilities. So every time you play the game, you could change your character's abilities to something different.
Hmm.
So I'm like, why couldn't we do that with this game? The little skill tree things they have in it is kind of cool.
I mean, I was expecting kind of something like, like Skyrim skill tree,
I mean, it's still like
or
pretty cool. I'm not gonna
I
lie and
mean,
say it is.
even
And
Odyssey, Assassin's Odyssey. Like after I had
what's Assassin's Odyssey?
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay.
After I had filled up all the skill trees and stuff, I found out that there was literally a whole nother thing I could literally use my points on, and I'm like, really? I'm like, you tell me I could have boosted this up. I didn't even know. So yeah, I wasted all my little, what you call them, ascension points
Yeah.
on something else.
But that's why I said, I think I think it's actually solid with that. And then looking back on those games, on it, it might be different, but at least with the skill tree, it does got a deep skill tree, and it is based on the team dynamic of the four characters, which that's not bad to me.
I didn't notice much difference except for the maybe the armature attacks, but as far like when you unlocked each one, I really didn't notice anything different. Like, oh, this character can now do this, or Gladius can do this. I'm like, okay, I didn't notice it
Yeah, if
really.
you look at it, it does seem like there isn't like really big changes, and even now, when the characters go down and stuff, it's not like they're helping you go when you go down. You give them potions, which is why I
Hmm.
remember I told you about the little thing. I was like, Well, I'm hoping because I'm not seeing it now.
Well, they can
I mean, they can get you,
bring you
yeah.
back up with a little bit of health. Yeah.
But like I will say that there could be a bit more to it. But honestly, with the whole what is it, ascendance?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think
Ascension.
ascension. Yeah, I think it's you know what I can't hate on it. At least they do have that. They do have that, so I can't really hate on that. They okay. I wanted to see if you would think about this too. The themes of the game, the Brotherhood versus Destiny, which hits harder? I don't know, to be
It
honest.
was just kind of messed up though. Like that's what he had to do after all that, and I'm like, it still makes me wonder. Like, what did you do? What happened? You did this, left for 10 years, came back just to die. So it was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god, maybe he'll change his mind. Like I said, it's my first time playing. Nope. So like maybe he'll stay with his friends. Nope. So I thought Brotherhood was gonna overcome Destiny. I was wrong.
the Brotherhood did. They buried him, but I'll say this. I I don't think it stuck the landing. It stuck the landing emotionally because of the attachment you have to the characters. But in terms of the story, I don't think it stuck the landing
Yeah,
because
after the
yeah,
characters, yeah, after a certain point when Noctis finally, decides he want to act right. But the story wise, like,
because I was sad. I was like, man, because I was like, okay, it was emotional. I was like, okay, cool, that happened. But I was like, I didn't like the ending because it felt like well, one, it was rushed. It could have been
yeah,
so
because
much
I'm
more.
like, they went up there and I'm like, I'm thinking he finna go get crowned and sit on the throne.
He got crowned,
And
right?
they finna be beside him and stuff.
He got crowned,
You're
right?
like, okay, y'all got this. He went in there and died. I'm like,
And then there's so much that they don't talk about.
what? Yes.
Like, do you know what the Star Scourge is?
No.
The Star Scourge is what's creating the demons.
Mhm.
The Star Scourge is when it affects people, and I'm assuming animals. That's what creates demons. But it's like they don't talk about that,
Mm.
and that's the reason why he was supposed to have died to cure the world of the Star Scourge.
Yeah.
But they don't dive into that.
It was literally like he was just going to a meeting, like the way his friends was like, "You ready for this?" Oh, it was like a regular conversation. Yeah. So that's why I didn't think that he was really going up in there to die. I thought he was just gonna go up in there and okay, I got the crystal, but let's go
Yeah,
or whatever.
it's just that. Excuse me, just that. Okay, he dies or whatever, but it's like the story doesn't build up to it enough. It
Mhm.
builds up to it in a certain capacity, but if you didn't look it up or whatever, you wouldn't understand why he was doing it, why
Mhm.
he had to die, what the actual reason was, and all of that. That's why I say it goes back to if you have not read the book, all of those question marks, all of the plot threads, it ties them all up. It explains stuff that the game don't. You learn more about the characters that they don't flesh out enough. Read the damn book, people. Read it. You will get the answers. Yes, it's messed up that you got to read the book to understand what's actually going on. Because again, the book there's a deeper layer, and there is another thing that's going on in the background of the game. The
Mhm.
game just doesn't touch on it because of how it was executed. But it's like a whole nother level of gameplay that you can't access to another part of the story you can't access because of the way they built the game. But once you read the book, you'll be like, okay, this is why this character did this. This is what's going on. This is where the Star Scourge came from. This is why all of this is going on and stuff like that. So uh, I would say this: The biggest problem with this is it does feel disjointed because of the way the story's being told. But if you read the story, if you watch the movie, you play the game, you get the context of everything. You get the context of why he actually was going there to die and all of that. And then the conversation of brotherhood versus destiny, that becomes much more centralized in the book too. So I need to ask you this: is this game underrated or is it rightfully criticized?
Maybe rightfully criticized. It could have been a little bit more. I liked it. I will play it again. I ain't playing it again. But yeah, could have been a little bit more. As in terms of story and all that through the game, yeah, definitely.
I think the game would have done exceptionally well if not only did they take if they'd have stopped if they'd have altered the comrades.
Without the DLC.
Yeah. Okay. If they were to have updated this game and made it where they put more content into the world, like I'll be interested to see what people that have modded the game have done because I've played Skyrim. I hadn't played the modded Skyrim. Let me roll that back. I played a modded Fallout 4. Modded Fallout 4 people have put in new characters, new mechanics, new monsters, new stories, new sections. And I'm like, okay, well, have there been a community for Final Fantasy 15 to have done the same thing to help offset what was missing in the game? But if it weren't for that, I'd say, like I said, it is rightfully criticized. But it still is an enjoyable game, despite those problems. Now, if we had a little bit more time, I could say that this might have been the best Final Fantasy game. It could have potentially topped seven. Seven's my favorite. But any other thoughts about this game? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Uh, but like, I guess before we end, your favorite fight?
I would have to say it is. I ain't gonna say the Adamantos. That thing took me freaking forever. I wrote it down. Let me see one of my favorite fights. I would say probably the bird. It was over the top and it was stupid, but it was cool fighting a giant bird.
Mm, okay, I guess for mine was Leviathan. Like, of course you heard me up in there. I was like literally, I was like, it was wild for me. That was my favorite one.
You know what? Me and you were talking about this as a side note. Let's talk supporting cast again. My favorite character in the game is Arnea. I was pissed that in the game she doesn't get much to do.
Mm,
But again, when you play the prompto, they flesh her out.
mm,
So you get to see her do more. You get to see more about what she's got going on. And again, when I read the book, they flesh her out a shit ton. And so I was like, okay, cool. Core, another character that's an important side character,
yeah, I kind of wish they would have had more, like I said, more quests with him.
but they do flesh him out with the Gladios. And so I'm interested to see who they flesh out with Ignis' story. Just like Ardennes as well. And also, the one of the most annoying characters in the game, because she's just such a trope, is Gladios' sister. I was complaining about her earlier.
Iris.
There's nothing to her character, but outside she's just super nice. It's that same trope that you see in anime all the time. The upbeat
Mm-hmm.
kind of what you call it? I don't know what to say. It's like she's
Yeah.
upbeat and she's always smiling and got to be very compassionate to life and all of this stuff. And it's like she got to have something going on. Your brother is the right hand of the king. He is the shield of the king, the future king. What are you doing? Nothing. But but we didn't talk about Arden, the game's villain. What are your thoughts about him?
Well, from the movie, I didn't really get much. From the game, yeah, I got a little bit more. Um, I really, to be honest, I really didn't see that much in him. Like for me, I didn't see much. Like,
Enough.
yeah, I didn't see enough. He's like, okay,
I when I first played the game, I was okay. He's an okay bad guy. But then because I watched so I watched the movie again, and I just like his mannerism and stuff. I was like, okay, he's now that I know he's the bad guy, and he's doing that eccentric thing. I liked him. I started liking him more. I like because his personality. He's kind of goofy.
I mean, if that's what you want to call it, eccentric, but okay.
That's what we would typically call it, eccentric. But like in the movie, portrayed him a bit more lighthearted. In the game, he becomes a little bit more
Yeah.
serious. But and then again, going back, I read the book, and for those who don't know, the book is built like an anthology, but it's actually told from four characters' perspectives. Luna Freya, uh, what's the chick name again? Aranea? I think I just said her name.
Aranea.
Aranea, Arden, Noctis. So all of this stuff that's missing from the games, their motivations, their drive, the things that they do, and all of that stuff,
Hmm.
it's all in the book. All of the complaining I did from Luna Freya, they put it in the book, fixed it. All of the fact that I said that Aranea didn't get enough screen time, book fixed it.
Hmm.
More backstory into what's going on in Niflheim, book fixed it. So we know at least know what they're doing. What's been building up with them, with the villains and everything. Ravis, the stupid king with the big nose. Just
So maybe they were just concentrating on giving us a good game to play, and it was good. You know, I like the gameplay, the driving, the flying car.
yeah, that was pretty cool.
Hmm.
That one's underutilized too. Don't give me no flying car and ain't no secret locations I can't get to. There is one by that volcano. I do not know what the hell happened why we couldn't find it that time, but I know I made it there. Uh, and then with the the water park, that should have been a bunch of different places you could have explored.
Hmm.
But what initially happened was they started doing the episodes, which were supposed to flesh out more and more, but they got canceled. So what happened was they took the canceled episodes and put them into a book.
Ah.
Hmm. But also, this is why I say Arden actually is one of my went from kind of this okay bad guy to one of my favorite Final Fantasy villains because he has a tragic story. He has like a that's messed up. I see why. I understand why he's doing what he's doing.
I mean, I got some of his story, but like I said, the way he was acting, like if he would have been just like maybe a little bit more eccentric, maybe I would have been like, okay, there's something there. But the way he's like, oh, not this and bowing and all that. I get that, but maybe push it a little bit more.
Kind of go back to the movie because the movie is a. It's weird because when you look at the two characters that have the big and probably because them the only ones that was in the movie that are in the game
Mhm.
is the shifts are Luna Freya and him.
Mhm.
So when you see them in game, you see that they're acting slightly different. Well, him slightly goofy, less goofy. Her slight, I'm not gonna say slightly, a hell of a lot less adventurous. What was the one moment she was like this, praying or something? I was like, really? That's it? But again, like I told you before, she initially was supposed to be two different characters.
Mhm.
One being the more adventurous, and one being, and then what she is now. But it is what it is. But like I said, Arden actually has a really, really, really good backstory, and it ties into the whole idea of what we're saying about the brotherhood and destiny and all of that stuff. So it's actually really good. Final Fantasy. Final thoughts I'm gonna let you go ahead and go first. In fact, before we go to that question, would you want a sequel or would you want a remake?
What would the sequel be about? Because it can't follow Noctis unless, I mean,
I mean, technically, I guess you could say we could. I don't think we could have a sequel. Everything was by the events of the book. Everything's done.
yeah. So then, what would the? How would you want the remake?
I'd remake that game. I'd remake it. One, the three major areas, countries, explorable. Two, make more of the events concerning Insomnia's war with Niflheim
Mm-hmm.
more prominent throughout the game. So people are talking more about what Niflheim's doing. Hey, the bad guys are over here. We can't go in that territory yet. You know what I'm saying? Also, more things concerning the backstory. Give us more depth. Let us know who the king was. I mean, they do have that, but to a very small degree. I'm talking. I want to hear a backstory. How was he as a king? You know, how did he become a
Did you ever
king?
locate all the tombs?
I think so. On my initial game,
I mean, not the tombs, but the royal arms. I think they said there were like 13.
I think I got them all initially, but I don't know. Maybe I didn't. I thought I did though. 'Cause I do got a crap ton of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, also flesh out side characters. Flesh them out. Core, Aranea, Sid,
Cindy.
Cindy. I mean, she's like a side, I
I
guess.
mean, well, she's in there though.
Yeah, you know what? Like, she could be like, "Hey, my mom and dad died in the war or something." Like, we don't even know what happened with that. Cause think about it, ain't Sid a grandpa?
Yeah.
She's like, we don't got no backstory about this girl. We don't know who she is, who this girl is. Give us some. Like in the movie, the people that stayed out there in the world didn't like people in Insomnia.
Mm-hmm.
Why not explore that? Hey, good riddance to the king. Uh, somebody saying, "Hey, good riddance to the king dying because he abandoned us."
Mm-hmm.
Why did he leave? You know what I'm saying? What else would be some interesting things? Talk about more about the astrals. Give us more context about the kings and stuff. What those kings mean to Noctis. If his father died, and I'm like, and he's able to communicate with the kings to a certain extent. Have scenes with him communicating with them or something.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Let the kings, like while he's in a crystal, let the kings tell you their story. Kind of like what happens in Naruto, where Sasuke, during the Fourth Ninja War, Sasuke ends up talking to the original Kages, which ends up turning, because he becomes bad. Spoilers. So what happens is he talks to the Kages and he wants to know information regarding like what it means to be a shinobi, how everything started, and each Kage of the previous Kages told him, and that's what changed his mind. Give us that would have been good. Hey, my name is uh, uh, I don't know, Jackass the Third, and during my reign, I did this. These are what I regret. This is what I did right. This is what I did wrong. Bam. Move on to another story. Something like that to give us more context. And then also, like I said, more monsters. I like the monster hunts are the best part of the game, actually.
Yeah, it's like almost kind of almost making like a monster hunt game
Yeah.
because that's like basically what you do to kind of try to keep busy in an open world is hunting the monsters besides the little ones, and then by the time you get up there, them level 4 or 5, this is one hit and that's it.
I do like the whole. I would say this. I do like the open world aspect of the balance between monsters and people. The demons are a little bit more confusing because okay, they come out at night, but then you're like, but they don't like certain lights.
Hmm.
But it's like they're not everywhere. What prompts them to pop up? It's not like they just pop up at night everywhere. They just pop up when you're around and stuff,
Yeah.
and you ain't no lights and stuff like that. You see people don't travel at night, but I wish there was a little bit better explanation of that. And I wish they would have touched a bit more on the star scores too. like it's still going on.
I mean, I kind of would have liked to see. I know they tried their best to keep away from the monsters in the daytime, but there are more monster hunters out there than Noctis and his friends.
Yeah, you like to see a couple of
So,
them or
like,
something.
maybe come across and they're fighting, come across another hunt and they're fighting the
Yeah.
monsters. So yeah,
Or that could have been a main character. Hey, I'm a monster hunter and you keep bumping into this guy.
like the fishing dude.
I guess I don't fish.
Yeah. Okay.
What else would I? What else would I do? Um, I probably also. Okay, we talked about the flying. We talked about oh, a monster arena. I'm sorry, I want a monster arena in these damn games. I'm tired of them not having it. Don't give me no damn bestiary. All of these monsters, and we can't do nothing with them. The closest game that I played that allowed you to kind of have that was Final Fantasy VII Remake. When you go to the arena and you go to each tier and you can fight in the arena and stuff, it's always fun. But it should have been customizable. And Final Fantasy X, which allowed you to you had to hunt down different monsters to get certain parts, come back, and if I'm remembering it right, you got to build a strong monster out of those parts, and you can fight that monster. And you kept doing that, and it kept doing making different monsters. Because one of the things in the game is in that game you get to there was a it's not a cheat. It was a little skill that you got or item, and you could only get this item fighting this one like two monsters in the entire game, and you had to steal it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one monster it was practically impossible to steal it from because you could barely get it. So what you would have to do is this other monster you had to wait till you got to this part of the game. You had to get all of the pieces, build this monster, fight this monster, and steal from the monster. And you only got like one, two, or three out of it every time you fought it because you only could get it out of there once each fight. I had how many characters you get on 10? I had 8 characters. 8 characters, and each one needed 99 to fully unlock that item. So yes, it took me quite a while to steal 99 of that item for this one damn monster. But I would like to see something like that too. But
I don't mind the arena. They had like the little arena in Forbidden West. Yeah.
I think our arena thing would be really really cool. But that like I would love to do like a top 10. I'm gonna do a top 10 video on here too. Top 10 things that need to do with a Final Fantasy 15 remake.
Do the top 10 bestiary.
Ooh.
Favorite fights.
I don't have a top 10, but I do have some. One of my favorite fights, I've already said it was, there's the giant birds. You got one giant bird you fight in the plains, and you got one giant bird you fight on the volcano. Like it. I mean, it's cool. It kind of reminds me of like the storm bird, almost that songbird for some reason.
Yeah. By the time I fought the bird, I was a little underwhelmed. Like I said, Leviathan was my favorite fight. And as for like out in the open world, Medusa and maybe that Naga,
Or Naga.
the Naga woman, my baby, or whoever it was.
That
Yeah,
that was easy. Oh, the one that's
I
kidnapped
was gonna say
Prompto.
my favorite. Now I didn't say.
Oh, my bad, my
I
bad, my
didn't say
bad.
hard or easy. I said one.
I will say this: the one annoying fight is that one with that chick. I cannot remember her name now. The one I was telling you about, and then you fought her. You kept running out of time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out a way around
And
that.
then when you start getting into the other fights, the Marlboro, I did not like that one because of what he kept doing, and the other giant snakes maybe. But
I think one of the best ones was the Behemoth one.
I did like the Behemoth.
The way they set it up was actually pretty
Oh,
cool
the
too.
one-eyed one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Deadeye.
Deadeye, yeah, yeah. That was actually now you ain't done it, but I have, and you watched me do it. Of course, the Adamantos fight, utterly ridiculous. I don't have any idea who the hell thought that was a good idea to have a fight with a damn turtle that's the size of a mountain.
Like, how are your hit points going though? That's what I'm anxious to find out.
Well, one thing I didn't do, I don't think, was that I didn't do the arms thing. So if you plan on fighting the thing, that'll be an advantage that you
Did you
have.
get a summons?
Yeah, I think I got Titan every. I don't know if it was multiple times we had to fight or one time, but I want to say it was multiple, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that took me again. I said it took me an hour and a half to kill that thing. An hour and a half. I sat my dumb ass there playing this game for an hour and a half trying to kill one damn enemy. That's crazy. Why I do that?
I mean, it was worth it.
I tried the Kata bleepers. I took that thing out. The big one-eyed things that's in the water. The big giant ones with the long necks.
Oh, that. See, that was kind of underwhelming too, for me, because I was like, oh, I can't wait to fight this Marsh Madness.
Yeah. I'll tell you one of the best fights. The Gilgamesh fight. It's in the DLC. Gladios has to fight him. Those who don't know, Gilgamesh is a prominent. He's one of those prominent characters in almost every game. He's a swordsman. He's a master swordsman. He's got a bunch of swords on him. This incarnation, I want to say he's kind of a spirit. But the setup is cool because in it, you're going through this cave, these walkthroughs, and all of this stuff. All you see is dead bodies with swords everywhere. That was actually a pretty good fight. But any final thoughts?
I like the game. I would play it again. I am playing it again. But yeah, like I said, I like open world anyway. I like the grind. More story.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, After the open world aspect, kind of linear. But like I said, I like the game. I mean, it's got a little flaws, but I like it.
Like I said, I like the game too. I've been replaying it. I've been actually trying to do more of the side quests and stuff. And of course, I have the same criticisms, but it's ultimately a good, fun game. Is it a good Final Fantasy game? Maybe, maybe not, but it's still a fun. It's still a fun experience. And that first person view thing was lazy. It's the laziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, when you figured out I knew how to do it, I'm like, yeah.
This crap lazy. But anyways, guys, be sure we greatly appreciate you sticking with us and listening to the video. If you have any topics, ideas, criticisms, put it in the comment section below. Who are your favorite characters? What are your favorite monsters? What are things that could have been done better in the game? Or is there lore that we didn't go over? Things that we got wrong? Things that we misunderstood? Be sure to let us know. And also be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what we got going on this channel. We'll definitely catch you guys later.